in those homes, we support a variety of individuals with varying needs, both physical and mental disabilities. And so program managers have said, hey, what are some of the things that people you're supporting in your homes having a tough time with that, hey, maybe we can get a group of people together that could kind of figure out, hey, how do we piece some stuff together? One of the things that came up is adapted games. We do a lot of, people play board games, things like that, but when you start talking about dice and small pieces, a lot of folks don't have the dexterity to be able to manipulate those. So a way to play some of those, either through kind of some sort of device that they could universally use for multiple games, or just a different way to play one that they try and utilize a lot, would be great. And this would be something you'd partner with the house that's requesting it and say, all right, what are you trying to play? What do you want to use? And then what's a challenge for you here at this house? And they kind of explain to you.
Yeah, those specifics would probably be discussed if a student wanted to do that.
Yeah.
We partner them with the house, they'd come in and interview the people that were requesting that, and then they could get the specifics that way too. And it's even just like, even the little pieces when you're moving a game too as well, that type of thing. Or even maybe it's a larger game board, something that they can see better, or it's easy for them to manipulate.
Formally gardening something that's in the ground is difficult. They can't reach down there and pull the weeds or be able to, plant things, take care of it, that type of thing. And so we do have a few planter boxes that are wheelchair accessible, allow a person to slide right underneath it and be able to touch it at normal height. But things like hoses and some of the tools aren't the most accessible for some of the folks that we're supporting that would want to use it. I'm thinking, your standard hand tools that you'd use to manipulate a garden, so probably something like a hand trowel and I forget what it's called with the 3 prongs on it. Ways for them to be able to kind of work the surface and help keep the weeds down, but then also be able to dig up and be able to plant things. And with those types, it may be a modified handle to allow a person to be able to manipulate it from different angles than just the traditional one. For them to be able to turn their hand this way and be able to go down at something may be difficult, where they may be able to hold it, they can grip it this way and then come down, and it'll be able to apply the needed force. That will work.
And then I know Alan had mentioned about the tools, but that was another specific request too, is a watering can that's accessible for somebody as well too. So it's something that's easier to grab, but then again, the specifics for what the exact needs are for that individual in that house would be discussed.
We had some requests for some help with modified page turner. So they like to read books, look at magazines. They can't flip the pages themselves, so right now they're relying on a staff member to kind of come by and flip those pages for them every time they're ready to turn a page. So something that may help kind of select just one page at a time, would be able to help kind of roll over, stick to and roll over one page. Would allow them to be able to do that with the motion that they're comfortable with and actually be able to see all. Another request we had was in regards to a specialized grabber, but then a lot of them work on premise that you can squeeze and hold enough tension on, through the handle to pinch whatever you're going for, and then maintain that until you're able to retrieve it. And they often need a way to be able to get a hold of the staff members when they're not in their space. So some people, they've got the ability to just yell out until somebody hears them, or they have the ability to move their wheelchair. Some people don't have either of those. And so the challenge we run into is when they need something, short of a staff member coming by at a frequent basis, they have no way to say, hey, I need some help. And so we've been looking at different types of call systems where a person can hit a button or a switch and be able to alert the staff that they're in need of assistance. And there are some companies that have already developed a whole bunch of different switches for different needs. Unfortunately, some of the call systems that we've found aren't compatible with those switches, and this is kind of some of what we find a lot of times as we're looking for solutions, is some of the ideas have been developed. They don't all get developed together, and so they're not always compatible. And so if there was a group that wanted to take on looking at, hey, how can we modify some of these things? We can certainly bring some of the pieces together for you to do that. So if you were looking at taking on that project, the components for that, we purchase. When it comes to the switches and the call system and that type of thing, you know, we can purchase the primary stuff that's all associated with that.